Red Bull is feeling the heat from McLaren, who are closing in on them from right behind. To stay on top and keep their winning streak from 2022, Red Bull needs to up their game. The race at Silverstone will be crucial since the track is a good indicator of how the cars will perform at most tracks in 2024, much like Barcelona. But with recent comments from Helmut Marko and the mounting pressure on Red Bull, there's speculation that they might slip up starting at Silverstone. People are even wondering if Red Bull is still the fastest team on the grid. The competition has been fierce since Miami, especially from McLaren. They've built a strong car that shines with low fuel and fresh tires, a factor that gave Verstappen trouble in races like Imola and Austria. The intense racing action in Austria was a bit too close for comfort for some, signaling that fierce battles will continue into the 2024 season. Lando Norris is now familiar with the challenge of facing a three-time world champion who never backs down. More importantly, Red Bull is experiencing unprecedented pressure, making the upcoming upgrades at Silverstone critical to their performance direction. Verstappen recently mentioned issues with the car, but no clear solution has been found yet. Despite a strong showing in Austria, it was evident that McLaren's late-race tire performance posed a significant threat. Therefore, the next upgrade package at Silverstone is seen as crucial for determining whether the team will face significant difficulties in the latter part of the season. Helmut Marko highlighted that these car issues have been a struggle since China, reaching a point where their origin is unclear. Mercedes has been wrestling with this issue for years, and now Aston Martin is grappling with it too. But for us, this is something new. We're not really sure where the gap between our simulations and the real world is coming from. Our car has a lot of potential. Up until the race in China, we were doing great and thought this season would be a cakewalk, even though it might not be thrilling for the fans. But we're hard at work fixing things and plan to roll out an upgrade at Silverstone. It has to be spot on, because if it's not, 2024 could be really tough for us. Red Bull knows that McLaren is becoming a serious contender, but just recognizing the threat isn't enough to solve the problem. They need to put in a lot of effort, especially considering they have been outperformed by both McLaren and Mercedes in the last 5 races. Ferrari is also right on their heels in terms of points. Another big issue is Perez's performance. As seen in Austria, if Verstappen isn't winning, the team can't count on Perez to fill in, despite him driving with significant downforce problems after a crash on the first lap with Piastri and Leclerc. Nevertheless, Verstappen showed his resilience by finishing ahead of Perez even after driving a whole lap on 3 tires, a pit stop, and serving a 10-second penalty by the end of the race. This situation highlights the current challenges Red Bull faces with their driver lineup. If the updates at Silverstone don't work as planned, it might seriously jeopardize both championships. The gap between Verstappen in the lead and Norris in second place is just 81 points. While that seems like a lot, remember that one DNF or a single bad result could change everything. Verstappen himself has been urging the team to speed up and perfect the upgrade process. He believes that although he can push the car to its limits, it's not the best on the grid right now. Verstappen drove brilliantly in Austria and other races he's won, even when Norris had the best car. But Verstappen can't always count on others like Leclerc or Norris not taking advantage when he doesn't win. Looking ahead to Silverstone, Verstappen said they're reviewing what they did right and wrong. Since it's the final race of a busy 3-race series, they want to come back fighting. Silverstone is special, and they aim to return stronger and ready for the weekend. This year marks a big 20th anniversary for our team, and we're excited to celebrate. It's going to be fascinating to see how Red Bull fares here, because, like Barcelona, this track features a mix of medium and high-speed corners, plus a few slow ones towards the end. This combo really tests the car's all-round capabilities. However, Marko doesn't think their car is the top dog right now. There's been a shakeup behind Red Bull, with Mercedes climbing the ranks and now sitting comfortably as the 3rd fastest team behind Red Bull and McLaren. It promises to be an exciting battle at the front, especially with Verstappen defending his 4th championship title. Marko also mentioned that the RB20's dominance has been questioned, especially when comparing Perez and Verstappen's performances since Miami. He pointed out that the teams chasing Red Bull have changed. Ferrari used to be the main contender, but now McLaren and a resurging Mercedes are in the mix. McLaren has really stepped up their game and now has a car that's better than ours, especially when it comes to setup. Their car performs well on all tracks and with every kind of tire. Lately, we've been struggling to find our balance, and it's taken us quite a while. Right now, we're the second best when it comes to balance. This is a big concern for Red Bull, as it might cost us the Constructors' Championship. On top of that, with Perez being re-signed, he could even drop out of the top 6 in the Drivers' Championship before the summer break. It's not something others have forced on them, they've chosen it themselves. Although Perez isn't a serious contender for the Drivers' Championship, his struggle to stay close to Max or regularly secure podium finishes, or even make it to Q3 often, highlights that the team will face significant challenges in the Constructors' Championship. The drivers' category has garnered attention from both Norris and McLaren, especially after their fierce battle in Austria. Now, it's intriguing to see Red Bull grappling with issues both in the simulator and on the track. They've joined Mercedes and Aston Martin, who have also revamped their strategies this season. While this doesn't spell disaster for Red Bull, especially with Verstappen on their side, even he seems to struggle in the later stages of the race. When the fuel load lessens and the car becomes lighter, Norris's MCL38 consistently gains ground on Verstappen's RB20. In Austria, despite Verstappen's slow pit stop, he and Norris exited the pit lane with about a 3-second gap. Norris quickly closed this gap within a few laps, showing that a showdown was inevitable no matter Verstappen's pit stop speed. One thing is clear, the rivalry between Norris and Verstappen is heating up and isn't slowing down anytime soon. With Ferrari struggling to fully integrate their new upgrades into the SF24, the McLaren MCL38 is shaping up to be Red Bull's fiercest competitor at the moment. Regarding the incident in Austria, team boss Horner acknowledged that it may have changed things between Norris and Verstappen, but he also pointed out that Norris has learned the art of battling Verstappen, who is a 3-time world champion. This is a skill that seasoned racers like Leclerc and Hamilton use to avoid collisions, but still come out on top in tight races. Looking ahead to the next leg at Silverstone, McLaren is gearing up with their own set of upgrades. This promises more thrilling action as they continue to push for better performance and climb higher in the championship standings. Silverstone is bound to be a spectacle, with no signs of Norris easing off the throttle in his pursuit of Verstappen. Given all this, do you believe Verstappen and Red Bull can once again dominate at Silverstone? More crucially, if the updates don't perform as expected, do you think the team could be facing some serious issues? Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.